Hi everyone, my name is Irene. Today's video will be one of the first topics in a traditional geometry course, angles. We'll be discussing the different types of angles and their properties, as well as doing some practice examples with them. First, let's go over the definition of an angle. An angle is a measure between two rays. Well, what's a ray? A ray is a line that extends infinitely in one direction and stops at a point in another direction. When two rays connect at a single point known as a vertex, they create an angle. Angles are measured in degrees. We can classify angles into three different categories. There are acute angles which have a measure of less than 90 degrees. There are also right angles which have a measure of exactly 90 degrees. A right angle is denoted by a square at the vertex instead of the usual arc. There can also be obtuse angles which measure greater than 90 degrees. On top of these three categories, we also have names for angles that have certain properties. For instance, complementary angles refer to angles that add up to a measure of 90 degrees. We can see that this angle is a right angle, or 90 degrees, because of the square in the vertex. Since angle DAC, which has a measure of x degrees, and angle CAB, which has a measure of y degrees, are both within this right angle, they can be classified as complementary angles. Thus, we can also say that x plus y is equal to 90. Let's try some examples where we calculate either the value of a missing angle or the value of an unknown variable by using this property. Let's look at the first example. We can see that the two angles add up to 90 degrees, so we can set up an equation where x plus 30 equals 90. If we solve for the variable, we get that x equals 60. Try the second example on your own. You can pause the video for however long you need to solve the problem. The answer will be revealed in 3, 2, 1. When we first set this up, we can see that the measures of these two angles add up to a total of 90. When we solve for x, we get a value of 28. Let's move on to the last example of complementary angles. The answer will be revealed in 3, 2, 1. When we set up the equation, we get that 6x plus 5x minus 20 is equal to 90. Solving for x gives us 10. When angles add up to 180 degrees instead of 90 degrees, the angles can be classified as supplementary angles. A straight line has an angle measure of 180 degrees. Since these two angles together make up a straight line, they have a total measure of 180 degrees and therefore are supplementary angles. Let's try some examples with supplementary angles. The first answer will be revealed in 3, 2, 1. Instead of setting up an equation where the angles add up to 90, now we have to make it so that the total angle measure is 180. When we add up all these angle measures and solve for x, we get an answer of x equals 10. Now on to the second example. The answer will be revealed in 3, 2, 1. From this figure, we can see that line PQ and line MN are parallel. When we put these two angles together, they form a straight line RQO. Thus, these angles add up to 180. When we solve for the variable, we get that x equals 57. Lastly, we will investigate angles around a point, or angles that add up to a measure of 360 degrees. When the angle measures of two straight lines are added together, the total is equal to 180 plus 180, or 360. Thus, the angle measure of a full rotation is 360. As we can see from the picture, the angle measures of A, B, and C add up to 360. Let's try setting up an equation with 360 as a total. The answer to the first example will be revealed in 3, 2, 1. When we set up this equation so that the missing angle plus 90 plus 105 plus 25 equals 360 and solve for the missing value, the angle measure comes out to 140 degrees. Now on to the last example for today's video. The answer will be revealed in 3, 2, 1. Remember that this angle measure is equal to 90 degrees. When we solve for x after setting up this equation, we get a value of x equals 29. That's it for today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more practice, there's an additional worksheet as well as a homework sheet attached in the description box below, along with their answer keys. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments, don't hesitate to contact me at the email address below. It's also linked in the description for your convenience. If you have any requests for future videos, please submit a request on our website, tasksteam.org, which is also linked in the description. Until next time!